We are back. We are live. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for your patience. Apologize for the late start today. Had a medical thing I had to take care of, so there was a late start. As you can see, I got Sears behind me. But today is a joint practice preview, a review against the San Francisco 49ers, and we are crowning our training camp champions on the offensive side and the defensive side. I think we all know who it is, but we're going to see, just in case we're not on the same page, we're going to see. But thank you guys for being patient again. We are live. We are back. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz.
Tune in, now it's time to sit. Orange and blue, we never quit. Broncos pride is lit legit. Every week we're bringing grit. Orange and blue, we bring the heat. Podcast grind, it can't be beat. Every play, every style we meet. Blitz so hard, it's on repeat. My high dreams, we elevate. Break it down, we narrate. From the field to the fan debate. Broncos Country, we dominate. We got the passion, we got the drive. Orange and blue keeps us alive. Every tackle, every stride. It's the Blitz where legends thrive.
What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome back. We are here to talk Broncos football. Yesterday, we had our first joint practice of this season against the San Francisco 49ers. Today, the Broncos are either resting or doing a walkthrough and then preparing for the game Saturday evening. So we flew out to Santa Clara. And so yesterday, from what we've heard, it was a decent practice. I think it was at some points, a humbling practice. For others, it was a great practice. I think that we missed some of our guys on defense yesterday. But even though we didn't have them, some captains of that defense, we still had others, and it was still a pretty good day. Offense got in rhythm. But that's what we are here to talk about today. Also, we're going to talk about our training camp champions on the offensive side and the defensive side, and a dark horse running back 3 that we've discussed on the show before at length that we're also going to bring up again as well. Something that Mike Kliss tweeted out that I'm pretty sure all of you are aware of. But guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends and family. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube, guys, because when we get to 539 subscribers, if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, that automatically puts you in a running for a free Bo Nix jersey giveaway. So we're trying to hit that goal this season, so you're not going to want to miss that. Also, guys, coming up tomorrow, normally we have a Get Bucked game day show. We should still have it. I'm just trying to find out who's going to host it because unfortunately at this time I will be at work, so I won't be able to host the game day show like I normally do. But don't fear, I will still be the host during the regular season. But preseason games run on different days. But there definitely will be a show, so make sure you guys hit your notification bell and you guys are tuned in for that. But yeah, let's get down to Let's talk Broncos. So yesterday, my feelings about what am I thinking about the practice yesterday. And this is what I tweeted. I said that offense has to lock in. There were some move the ball periods where we stalled. And we're entirely healthy. We're not like the defense where we're missing 2 of our linebackers and our free safety. Everyone for the offense was healthy and present. And you're playing a lesser defense. Especially when you're getting momentum with Troy Franklin and Bailey, and you have 2 different running backs. I'm not understanding why we're stalling. And then the reason why it stung is because in response, then the 49ers came down and scored on their move the ball period against what is supposed to be our top defense. And the 49ers didn't really get going until the end of practice. And so that's where things are being highlighted. But definitely listen to the 49ers reporters and 49ers what they're saying. They definitely gave the Broncos the day. Appreciate the thumbs up, guys. They definitely gave the Broncos the day. Even though we're harder on ourselves as we're supposed to be, they gave the Broncos the day. So for just from that first period of just absolute dominance by the defense, just absolute dominance by the defense. I think it was sack after sack, incompletion PBUs. And like I said, the silver lining is that we were this dominant coming out, starting dominant without our starting inside linebackers, without Brandon Jones, our free safety. Appreciate the thumbs up. And so we came out dominant without missing our two linebackers. So that just says how much better we can be. But because if you think about it, it was just our defense was just yesterday was Jade Barron, Talna Hufanga, and then everybody else from last year. And we were still able to come out dominant. So we had basically the same defense as last year in this joint practice, and we're still able to be dominant. But also, we saw the same result that happened last year was that toward the end, we tailed off. And that happened again this year. And that happened again with this joint practice with the same defense as last year, which is we come out dominant and strong, and then we tail off at the end. But if you had to score this practice as a game, from what I'm hearing, it seems like the Broncos eked out with a win. Like we barely held on the win. They couldn't do enough. And, we started off so dominant in the beginning, they couldn't do enough to catch up. That's what we're not trying to have this year. And I think, and this is strictly on the defensive side right now. And I think on the defensive side right now, what we don't want to repeat is last year's starting off strong and then running out of gas. And so that's what. What's it going? What the heck? Theo, are you putting something? Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Printer just started printing. My friend started printing something, but that's all good. So what we were saying, we don't want them to appreciate the thumbs up. We don't want them to repeat is running out of gas, and I think that's what happened with our defense this practice. But I think that is because we did not have our starting inside linebackers and our free safety Brandon Jones, and I think what was missing with Drake Greenlaw. And guys like Brandon Jones and Alex Singleton is that extra bit of leadership, that extra bit of energy, that extra bit of push that makes you give it that little bit more, that speaks up when you need to. When not saying nobody said, hey, lock in or get it together, but just that coming from your inside linebacker core and maybe even your free safety and Brandon Jones and your vocal leadership was saying, hey, guys, now's the time to lock in. But not only that, but also make the play, and especially as an inside linebacker. I think that was missing last year, and that was missing yesterday in the joint practice. And then even though Justin Sternard and Lavelle Bailey did very well because they were the starting inside linebackers when we started off dominant. But just something was just missing or something was lacking. And I think we definitely missed our inside linebackers yesterday towards the tail end of practice. And I think a guy with like Dre Greenlaw or high energy like Alex Singleton, I think those high energy guys are what is going to be able to push this defense to the next level and give them that extra boost of energy in the fourth quarter when teams seems to be marching down the field and make a comeback. When you don't want to get in a shootout, you want to go say, hey, stop here, come no further. I don't want to, we're not going to keep doing this back and forth. We're going to give our ball back to our offense. I think guys like Dre Greenlaw, Brandon Jones, and Alex Singleton have that leadership and the ability to speak about it and then do it on the field. And so I think we were missing that. So I think the 49ers were able to start to pick up momentum, get in a rhythm, and get in a rhythm. We were missing, I guess you could say we were missing three of our disruptors, guys who disrupt the offense's rhythm. And so I think that's why they were able to get in a rhythm and start scoring toward the end. Johnny comes in. He says he will be hosting Get Bucked and Buck Your Feelings tomorrow with Bronco Grob. All right, guys. So that's who we have. So we definitely have the Get Bucked Game Day show tomorrow. So it's 7:30 p.m. Central. So that means it's going to start at 6:30, 6 or 6:30 tomorrow Central. That would be 5 o'clock Mountain Time. So that's when the Get Bucked Game Day show, an hour before the game starts in your time zone, is when the Get Bucked Game Day show is on, and the Buck Your Feelings show, which is our post-game show. So you guys aren't going to miss that. Tiana Costa in the comments. Love the Broncos, like always. Mike Kyle, Mile High Salute. I've been a Broncos fan since 1973. Wow. Talk about OG orange and blue. Could have easily changed teams, but once you have orange and blue flowing through your veins, yeah, can't get it out. Tiana says, love Broncos since I was a kid. Mike says, John Ralston was the head coach, Charlie Johnson was the quarterback, and Floyd Little was the running back. Mike, you got to go reach out to Mile Viking. You and Johnny should definitely connect because Johnny loves stuff like that, and he grew up with the Broncos as well. And I think something about neighbors with older Broncos or something like that. But definitely hook up with Mile Viking. Yeah, so that was my opinion on the defense yesterday. I think we were still dominant. We were dominant like we were last year. But like I said, we missed three of our disruptors, so the Niners were able to get into a rhythm. One thing that I did hear from the San Francisco 49ers side was that their run game could not get going at all. Absolutely at all could not happen. They had to go to the run game. So that's an absolute positive. But you can only imagine, especially with Talanoa Hufanga, I guess they said there was an end around that the 49ers ran, and Talanoa Hufanga would have absolutely destroyed it behind the line of scrimmage. So the run game with Talanoa Hufanga there, being able to help out with the run game as well. There is no run game. Run defense is even better than it was last year, which is going to come in handy against teams like the Bills and the Ravens. Because, we'll talk about the Chargers later because we don't like injuries and we're praying for Rashawn Slater and we feel bad for the Chargers and stuff like that. But that changes everything. That changes a lot. Rashawn Slater going down. Appreciate the thumbs up. But glad to hear that our defensive line is healthy, strong, still dominant. But having those disruptors, especially those two inside linebackers back, is just going to amplify that run defense even more and give it pop. It's going to give it pop. And we were missing that yesterday. We were missing that pop. And so on the offensive side of the ball, before we talk about the good, not the bad. It's not going to be bad, but didn't hear much about Evan Ingram. I wonder if with Evan Ingram, either he wasn't. There's two possibilities. He got locked down by Fred Warner in man coverage. Don't think that's the case. I know they ran some different pressures and stuff, but Robert Saleh is more of a zone guy. But I know he threw some blitzes and stuff like that. I think number two is the possibility. I think Sean Payton really is hiding Evan Ingram. He's there. But I think Evan Ingram's decoy opened up Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims early. And that's what the offense primary focus was, is it seems that the speed guys, appreciate the hearts and the thumbs up, guys. It seems like the speed guys won the day for the offense. Not Vele, and Vele did have a good catch, or Sutton, who had the play of the day, which is a touchdown. Appreciate the thumbs up and the hearts, guys. But the moving the ball, the big chunk gains were the yak guys, the rack guys, the speed guys, the 4-3 guys. And I find that very interesting. I don't know if Sean Payton in the offense, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, hey, we're going to go into this with a focus of getting Mims and Franklin involved. But, we come out and all of a sudden the Bo Nix, Troy Franklin connections there, 20-yard, 15-yard games, Marvin Mimm connections there. And so I liked hearing about that. I liked hearing about Bo Nix getting in rhythm. I did not, now before I get to that, what I really, really, really liked was no interceptions in team period. Appreciate the like and the hearts, guys. Is the Bo Nix, there was no interceptions yesterday from Bo Nix and the team period. You said they had one in the 7-on-7 period. I don't either. That was holding on that one video, but also heard that wasn't Bo Nix throwing it, so didn't hear of any interceptions. So that's also good. I liked him getting in the rhythm early. I like them. What they said is they came out fast. The offense came out fast, which is something that they have. Sean Payton has harped on, and it's something that they came out and did, and they said was a good job with theirs. I don't like that they slowed down later and stalled. I do not like that there were a lot of sacks yesterday and a lot of pressures. That it doesn't worry me. It worries me, but I'm not panicking. I don't like hearing about that. One thing that I did not like hearing was one thing the 49ers fans was taking away was the amount of pressure. And I think we have to understand that if we're not a target, we are a benchmark. We are a standard. And what I mean by that is when people play the Broncos, we don't test ourselves against them. People are now testing themselves against us. So when everybody knows the Denver Broncos offensive line is elite, and you get pressures against an elite offensive line, they walk away feeling confident. I don't like that. And so one of the things they talked about was they're like, hey, I liked how we got pressures against this elite offensive line. This, the Denver Broncos offensive line is elite, and we got a lot of pressures. I don't like that. We got a few sacks. I don't like that. I don't like that. I did hear that in the one-on-ones, 4 out of the 5 did excellent, and I heard there's a weak link. And I heard that's a lot. That weak link is the interior pressure, and it's Ben Powers. Simultaneously, I heard the interior offensive line on the second and third team got worked as well. So I'm not hearing someone that's ready that could possibly be threatening Ben Powers' position in his last year of his contract. But I'm also not hearing good things. I mean, like I said, not panicking. I'm worrying. This is me worrying. Why am I not panicking? Because last year's the same Ben Powers. Ben Powers had one of the best years of his career. It's one joint practice. We finished with the best pass blocking offensive line. I'm hoping this isn't a pattern. He can rebound and whatever the case may be. Maybe Alex Palczewski can play left guard. You never know. I think that's the next guy that could possibly step in. So I didn't like that the offense stalled. I didn't hear much of the run game. I heard the run game was solid. I don't know what that means. Well, last year was bad, so I don't know what solid means. But it seems like the run game on both sides weren't that strong. It seems like the Niners still have a strong defensive line, as they normally do. So it was a good challenge for us. We go back and be able to watch film today. They definitely have their cut-ups. So what I figured out is the way they do the film, the way the structure works is there's the film of the practice, and then the head coach watches the film with all the coaches. They all watch film. Or the head, not all the coaches, the heads, the position coaches. And then they dish them out. And so so Vance Joseph has the defensive film. Vance Joseph has the defensive film. He watches the film on defense, and then he dishes out each one. So he gets the cut-ups from the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary. And so he gives the film to the D-line coach, the cut-ups from the D-line to the D-line coach. the linebackers coach and the secondary coach, the DBs coach, and then the DBs coach go individually, and then they all watch film within their sections, within their position group. So the DBs will be watching the film from the DBs. They'll be watching the plays from that, and then they'll have assignments individually what to do, and that's how it's disseminated all throughout. The same thing goes for the offense. So the offensive line film will be disseminated to Zach Strief. And Zach Strief's going to watch film with the offensive line. They're going to study. They're going to go over, okay, this is what we saw. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do this to get better. The wide receiver coaches gets the wide receiver film, and so on and so forth. And so that's what they're probably doing today. If they're just doing a walkthrough. If today's a rest day, which I think should be a rest day before, if the Stars are going to play again tomorrow, today's a rest day. What come in, they're probably going to watch film, and it'll be a rest day, if not just a walkthrough. And so I'm definitely interested to see how we respond. They're not going to play all their starters in the first game, so I think we're going to beat up on them. I don't care. I just want to see good. What I saw yesterday in the Seahawks and the Raiders was way too many penalties. Just penalties galore. It's preseason, get out the way. I don't want to see that. I want to see good, clean football, good, clean operation. This is what I want to see. I want to see on offense and defense the 85% continuity that the NFL had, the highest retention rate in the NFL by any team. I want to see as if that's true. Let me prove it. The offense should be flowing. It shouldn't be choppy. It should be in rhythm early. These are day one installs. You know this offense. You've done it before. You know the type of defenses they're running. It's preseason. It's easy. Execute. And what I'm thinking, the reason why I'm saying that is because you get guys like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Every time they come out in preseason, you're ready to see some type of fall off or whatever the case may be. And they all come out and they all are highly efficient touchdowns, 1-2 drives off the field. They're done. That's all they need. I don't want to see, we mess up that drive through and now. Okay, come on. We got to bring them back for another drive just to get a good one. Okay, that's better. I like the way we ended that one. Okay, let's move forward. I don't want to see that. I want to see come out here like you've been here before, like you know what you're doing. Execute first drive. Boom, efficient, touchdown, points on the board. Maybe you can sit down. Maybe Sean Payton wants you to do one more drive. Maybe he pulls some guys here and there. Maybe he starts substituting, whatever the case may be. But the option of, hey, and the same thing goes for the defense. Don't want to slip up and they're getting chunk plays for whatever. Because if the starters are going to play and the San Francisco is not going to play their starters, so there's no reason why you should be getting beat up and chunked up. But we also know that Alex Singleton and Dre Greenlaw will not be playing in this game, but they will be a full go for pads on Monday. I think that's the right thing to do. Just give them a full 4 or 5 days of rest, stretching, physical therapy. They've had their pads on. They're out there in the sun. And so just give them that rest to come back and really get ready for Arizona and get ready for week 1. Now we're going to talk about the training camp champions. The first practice is over. Training camp is officially over. Preseason is upon us. So offense and defense, it's going to be quick. It's going to be easy. It's going to be predictable. Offensive training camp champion is obviously Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin had the most pressure on him as a wide receiver to come in and perform. Cortland Sutton has been 6th in the NFL in the last 2 years in touchdowns. He has 18. 6th in the NFL. He was the best wide receiver on third down last year. The best wide receiver in the NFL on third down last year. And he just got his extension. He's good. The pressure is on the organization, not on Sutton. Sean Payton said he wanted an album from Cortland Sutton when he got here since he's told Cortland Sutton that Cortland Sutton is 6th in the NFL in touchdowns. Well done, sir. No pressure. Evan Ingram coming in, no pressure. There's expectations, but there's no pressure. Pat Bryant, rookie, no pressure. Vele, we like Vele. We thought he did very well, and we're not expecting his ceiling to be that much higher. No pressure. Marvin Mims, we saw what he could do the last half of the season. Incredible. No pressure. We just expect him to grow. No pressure. Troy Franklin. Sean Payton traded up for him and called George Payton in the middle of the night and got Bo Nix's old receiver. And we've seen this done before with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase when you go and get their old receivers and you try and pair them together. We've seen this done before. And so Sean Payton said he wanted that. Troy Franklin is a 6'3" receiver that runs a 4.3 40. He was outstanding at Oregon. And he did not there were flashes, but there was a lack of consistency with Troy Franklin his rookie year. And I think a lot of it had to do with playbook and where he was in the depth chart. But that playoff game changed him. And he has been back and has been consistently good the entire offseason and training camp. Every time. Not just against the ones, the twos, and the threes and against the Broncos, but then you heard it again yesterday. He was almost unguardable. Thanks for the like and the thumbs up. So I'm going to have to give the training camp champion on offense to Troy Franklin, which is a complete opposite of where he was last year. Complete opposite of where he was last year, where he was getting yelled at. And I was thinking earlier, I wonder if that's because he has a different coach. Johnny Morton is now with the Lions. And so Troy Franklin was being yelled at and screamed at and cursed at. And so maybe there's a different approach to Troy Franklin. Not just Johnny Morton was the coach when Troy Franklin did catch that touchdown pass. That I'll say. But I think, is there possibly a different approach to Troy Franklin that boosts not only that boosts his confidence, but that's able to keep his confidence high and consistent through the training camp because he's not getting yelled at. He's not getting cursed at. Maybe there's just a different approach to coaching that works better for Troy Franklin. So he's definitely the training camp champion. And the second training camp champion, I think, is another guy that had just amount of pressure on him coming into this year. And I think these two guys had the most pressure on them coming into this year, and both of them have risen to the occasion. This guy is in the secondary, and this is predicted to be the number one defense with an elite secondary, and you play opposite of the defensive player of the year. You've been injured your first couple years. Every year you've been in the NFL. Your rookie year got derailed by an injury. Last year, you got to start. And then you got injured throughout the season, even though you were playing at a high level. And this year, your third year, you're coming off your first year starting, coming off injury, you're healthy, you're watching film, you're understanding. And so what is Riley Moss's ceiling? And so you have to be some type of cornerback opposite defensive player there. Some type. What I mean by some type is you have to be a ball hawk. You have to be extremely sticky, like lockdown. You either have to be locked down the opposite side of lockdown, or you have to be what Riley Moss seems to be, is a PBU king. D-Rock says, my cornerback 2, number 21 Moss, LFG. I think he's a PBU king. And that's all I've heard is offseason is pass breakup, 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 pass breakup. He's a PBU king. And so that's who the training camp champion on defense is going to go to, is Riley Moss. Riley Moss had the same amount of pressure. Fans are hard. We are hard. We were hard on Troy Franklin. He shut us up with the touchdown. The only points we had in the playoffs were from Troy Franklin. And we were hard on Riley Moss. Very, very hard on Riley Moss. I never thought his position was in jeopardy with the drafting of Johnny Barron. Nevertheless, he's very underrated going into this season. He's very, very underrated going into this season. And if Riley Moss is just as good as we think he is, or even better, and becomes to a point where Riley Moss starts getting interceptions instead of just bat downs, but he starts getting interceptions, or he's a PBU king, you can't throw to either side. If you can't throw to that boundary and you can't throw to that boundary, where can you throw? Inside. And guess who we have inside? Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga. And then you have Jaquan McMillan or Johnny Barron at the nickel. So this is good. This is really good. This is extremely good for the Broncos' philosophy of draft and develop. And this is extremely good for the offense and defense to have both young guys, a third-year guy and a second-year guy, truly taking that next step that you drafted them to take, and that can contribute that greatly. And here's the thing: Marvin Mims is wide receiver 2, Cortland Sutton's wide receiver 1. I like that. I like not having two big receivers on a 2 wide receiver set. I like having Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton. I like that. Both really good hands. And here's the thing: Troy Franklin might be wide receiver 3. He's been that, and this game tomorrow is going to tell us this whether he's really wide receiver 3. Dakota Marquez in the comments. What up, Dak? He said, "What's up?" And cool name. Whether or not he's really wide receiver 3, and there's a possibility that Vele will become wide receiver 4. Because Troy Franklin, he's starting to hit his stride, and he's fast and has a long stride. So this is good for both offense and defense and draft and development, young contracts, and for the football team as a whole. Before we close out, I said there was one guy that we were going to talk about, and that's Tyler Bidet, where Mike Kliss tweeted that Tyler Bidet could be sneaky running back 3. And Sean Payton said that Tyler Bidet is in the thick of it. Now, he didn't say whether he's in the thick of it with Jalil or in the thick of it with Estime and Watson. But it seems like outside of Harvey, Jalil, Bidet, Estime, and Watson are all in a competition for 3 and 4. Appreciate the thumbs up and like, guys. You guys have ratioed me. We have more likes than viewers. You guys have ratioed me. I love you guys. This is the best ratio. But with Tyler Bidet being running back 3, here's the thing, and we've said it multiple times on this show. Tyler Bidet is the most complete running back in that competition. He can pass block, he can run, he can catch. And so, as we said before, why is he so good at pass blocking is because on special teams. So not only has he been in the offense and he knows the offense and he can pass block, which I've heard RJ Harvey knows the mental side of it, but needs to work on the physical side of it. So he's kind of getting bullied a little bit more and pass pro. But Tyler Bidet does not. His first play as a Bronco was a touchdown pass from Russell Wilson. So he can catch. We saw against the Buccaneers, he can run. I think Dobbins, Harvey, Bidet is an excellent game day 3. Remember, who did Peyton elevate over Estime for the playoff game? Tyler Bidet. So there's an interest there. There's a like there. I really I can see a trade coming, a crazy trade. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Jalil went to Dallas. Outside zone scheme, they need a running back. Jalil's healthy. He's a hard worker. He's a leader. He's definitely going to be the leader in that running back room. Even though Javonte Williams there, he's going to be the leader in that running back room. But if game day you're going, because Bidet can back up any of those two, because he's one of the most complete running backs. But if you're going to keep Jalil and put him on kick return, that's fine. Or you put Bidet on special teams. Maybe you want Bidet as a kick returner. I don't know. We'll see come tomorrow. But definitely sneaky running back 3. Definitely sneaky running back 3. Guys, that is all we've got today. Tomorrow, you guys don't forget to tune into the game day show because tomorrow the Broncos play football again. Football season's back. And I'm so excited. I'll be at work. I'll watch the game. I'm going to tune in for the game day show. I'm in the comment section with you guys. But make sure you guys tune in because Johnny and Rob are hosting the game day show and the Buck Your Feelings post-game show. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that. I'm going to give you guys a mile high salute. I appreciate the thumbs ups and likes. Don't forget to subscribe so you guys can be in the running for the Bo Nix jersey. I love you all, and thank you for
Orange and blue will take a ride. Broncos will never hide. This is the Blitz where we confide.